Byrd, and it is just another amazing day. You see a little black screen that says Lincoln there. We're not talking about a Lincoln car. We're not talking about a Lincoln penny. We're talking about a Lincoln big dog that just joined eXp Realty. So in a second, I'm going to introduce him and bring him into the camera. But number one, I wanted to just say we're having the greatest growth month in the history of eXp Realty. This guy just adds fuel to that fire. We actually added 3,000 agents in the month of January, the biggest month ever in terms of the growth of this company. If you haven't watched the stocks EXPI, check that out. It's really just amazing what's going on. But with no further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Lincoln Marriner up in Canada. Lincoln, come on the video for us, Bubba. What's up, baby? I love your studio too, man. What do you got? Guitars back there and just...
I have 10 guitars here, a recording system. All my amps are along the other wall. You can see in the background, I got tons of stuff over here.
That's so amazing. I have zero musical talent, brother. So hopefully you have enough for both of us. But
everybody has musical talent. It is
well, it's hidden deep then. It's hidden deep. But listen, Lincoln, the reason we're here today is to introduce you to the world as the newest member of the eXp family in Canada. I'm really excited to announce this today.
That is cool. I'm beyond excited, man. I've been diving deep into it and spending my time in it, and it's just fantastic. Honestly.
You know, I love hearing that, especially for a guy that's just recently onboarded, literally within the last week or so. And I'm dying to do this interview and bring you to the world, if you will. Canada is on fire. The U.S. is obviously breaking records in historical levels. Yeah. Now stock is up over $110. $7 billion company. There's just so much to talk about, but let's talk about a little bit. Take me through your real estate journey. How long in real estate? Where were you recently? You know, let the viewers know who you are as a man.
So I have been in real estate full-time since 2003.
Okay.
And I've been at many other different companies, your kind of traditional type of brokerage models. I didn't even know how to talk that way until about 5 years ago, because I just thought real estate's real estate. You go park your license somewhere and you go sell houses. Then I became a team leader. I joined Keller Williams, and I'll tell you why, because that is an incredible company and an incredible model. And I was there and I dove into it, and that changed my entire career.
You were the team leader at Keller Williams in Barrie, right? Barrie, Ontario?
Yeah, I became the team leader, and my growth went through the roof, which is amazing.
The office growth did?
The growth and the growth of myself.
Oh, I love it.
Well, right? And I'll tell you, most people, I'm getting a lot of messages right now, people going, what? Are you kidding me? How
of all people? Well, weren't not only a team leader and part of KW, weren't you part of the kind of the technology rollout or whatever that was for Canada?
I was part of the technology rollout. Yes. Many different roles, but to be honest with you, I just got involved in everything that I possibly could, because I was one of those people in the past who wouldn't put their hand up to ask any questions. They were just going to, somebody else will ask it and I'll do it.
Gotcha.
And I realized that I was inhibiting my growth. So I thought, I got to start asking more questions. And I just dove deep into everything. And I was the one always at the back going, hey, sorry, repeat that again. Let's talk about that again. How can it help me? Then I became so involved in training and coaching that I was like, man, I love doing this. I love helping agents get to where they want to be. Yeah. And I grew with that in a massive way.
I love that. So how long at KW?
About 8 years.
Wow. Very, very cool. And I was KW, you know that. I was a team leader. We had some kindred spirits in that way.
Absolutely.
And I loved it. I still love that model. I think it's a great model. Gary Keller's a brilliant guy. It's just eXp is just different. It's just different. It took you obviously a while of our friendship. And, I've had you on some of my big leadership panels. I know when COVID started, we put together a panel and you were gracious enough to come in and be involved in that with Carrie Scholl, Lana Rodriguez, Tom Daves, Laura Jalot, just literally #1 names in every brand, in every area, Remax, Keller Williams, Independent, Coldwell Banker. We had them all represented. And you were representing Canada. And that was really a great segment for agents that were looking up to you leaders, like, what's next? How are we going to get through this? And I just thank you for your contribution to that.
I love that whole thing. That was great.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And so you've been in EXP for a week. Let people know, what's that onboarding look like for you? You know, what are you diving into? I know it's like drinking from a fire hose. I get it.
Yeah, and it's super simple. That's the thing about it. It's you, because it's virtual and it's right there. I was kind of like, how can this be? You know, how can it be this simple? But it's drag and drop. Take your avatar, go walk around, go to the rooms you want to go to the training you want to go to. It's all right there. And I'll tell you, it's I just put a listing up the other day, and it was the simplest process I've done.
No kidding.
Yeah, to date. To
I
date.
love hearing
Simplest.
that feedback because I
Drag
really
and
haven't.
drop, put it in, boom, I got my checklist back, and it's live.
I love that. And I really haven't heard it from that perspective from some of my newer agents onboarding. You know, the onboarding could be a lot. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And we tried to segment it in places that you're only getting compartmentalized information until you need it to move you along instead of just going, here's
I
the world, you know, and it's on your
yeah,
back.
man. I onboarded and put a listing up in the same day and started KV Core the next day, which is the CRM system, all in one go,
I love
and
it.
went to the Canadian training class.
I
It
love
was
it.
no problem. It was easy. Here's I bet you some people are going, well, who cares? It's a big company. It's just another big company. Who cares what company you're at?
Right.
The thing is if you're not open-minded and adventurous and looking for opportunity at every single turn in this business, how can you possibly know what you're not missing out on? So what happened was, when I looked at this model, when you explained it to me, and I was like, okay, this is incredible. I looked at it and thought, man, all it is the biggest disruptor in the business today. The traditional model for me is completely backwards. No longer does somebody have to go and pay a brokerage these crazy fees to have a bricks and mortar building that's raising you're paying for those bricks and mortar buildings. Everybody, you're paying for all that stuff.
Right.
And when you're done, this is the one thing that got me the most, is when you're said and done and all is finished and your career is done, do you want to walk away with a plaque that says thank you for 25 years of selling houses for us, or to the industry, or would you rather walk away with ownership in an industry? And at EXP, there's ownership. So what it is, it's the model that I've always loved. At KW, the model is there. It's phenomenal, but this is just the next version of it. And to be honest with you, it's the most frictionless environment that there is out there today, and that is really important. So if you're a team and you have 10 people on your team, and you want to do expansion, and I want to expand from my area to an hour north or whatever, you want to expand in a smaller circle, not a big wide one, right? That's pretty basic. But you don't have to worry about going to another franchise and getting permission and doing all these different things. You can just branch out and do what you want to do. Frictionless, completely frictionless environment.
That's a great point. And one of the things that attracted me, and we talked about this, is, typical teams like you guys that are running teams high-minded, you want to expand, and you want to expand either inside or just outside your market. But this is limitless in terms of boundaries, geographical boundaries. I mean, we're open in Italy, South Africa, Puerto Rico. It's just wherever you have relationships, all of a sudden you have an opportunity to seek partnership and then reward, financially from that partnership. But I love that explanation. And a lot of people don't understand the onboarding process of, I always tell people, hey, give us like 30 days. Don't judge EXP for 30 days, because it can be a lot of bumps and changing signs and all that stuff. But, you brought this up, and I love this takeaway was, it's an opportunity for you to rekindle your relationships with your database, with your sphere of influence, and say, hey, I just joined a new company. I just joined a company that's a NASDAQ company, $7 billion company, and all these things that help your customers understand that there's value for them as well, not just you.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah, because also on top of that, you're giving these tools, like the KV Core system is second to none. The thing is amazing, right? And that's the CRM system, which helps me to stay on top of leads that are coming in for listings, right? Not just leads for me to go and do more business from or whatever, but it's also helps me stay on top of and communicate with my sellers that this is the kind of job that we're doing for them.
Right. Understand.
So it's huge.
So, and I want to be cautious not to, disparage where you came from, because
Oh,
we do have a lot of respect for that company and that brand, and they've
massive.
rolled out some technology command and some other things. And
Yeah.
for you, I know that you were kind of in the technology ambassador, for
Yeah.
Canada. You were in the role of being in the front line of that. And it's great to hear the takeaway that you have from KV Core specifically. It's a free system that's supplied. Most of those CRMs are $500 a month or so, including this one, and it's supplied to all agents because eXp believes at the top that that is the foundational blueprint. And I think they were smart enough to not try to build it themselves. We own the
Yeah.
Verbella suite, which is the world we live in, but all
Yeah.
the rest of the technology, we let the people stay in their space that are focusing on that. And we have some pretty amazing relationships because of that. But so when you're looking at this new journey for you, and I just wanted to spend a few minutes today, welcome you publicly to the world. I couldn't be more excited. You and I have been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
We met and connected through the Tom Ferry ecosystem.
We did.
And I was blessed enough to be in your circles watching you dominate in those team leader days.
Well,
And
you helped me a lot with all of that. And to be honest with you, and when you say Tom Ferry, people again would go, well, wait a minute, weren't you in whatever coaching you're in? Yes, but you got to remember, I'm always looking for opportunity, and that was a huge opportunity when we got together, and I could learn from you, which is a huge thing. Yeah, that was a big thing for me. And again, so I just tell everybody, make sure that you are always looking to build your business and look for strategic partnerships within your business. And
yeah,
that's what we did.
it's totally true. And I still coach with Tom Ferry. Bill Pipes is my coach. I love Tom. That ecosystem's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what I took away from that is I love meeting other people and in and out of that ecosystem, and like-minded people attract like-minded people. And you said something that's important to me is EXP is different. It's not better than red, blue, green, gold jacket. It's not better. It's different. And what
Yes.
makes it different is that ownership, right? So we look at the four pillars. Compensation model,
Yep.
similar in many respects. Stocks and options, very few companies have those availability. True
Yeah.
revenue share, which is frontline revenue, and
Totally different.
big
Yeah.
difference than some of the other models. And then the fourth dimension is collaboration. And so all of a sudden you get to collaborate with the likes of Tom Daves, Brent Gove, Sheila Fergeron, all Don Yoakum, all these people that are in our ecosystem now within EXP. And it's one of the fastest growing companies in the history of real estate.
Yeah.
And so, what comes away, what do you take away from this? Like I love hearing it like a week into the business, and then we could look back in a year and say, that's where I was during the headlights back then. But what are you most excited about? Because I see you growing to 500 people in your organization in 2021. You're that guy. You have that kind of influence. And
I want to be that guy. And I tell you that the most exciting part about it for me is when you're building your foundation in this company, and people are coming into your world that is an extension of the world that you just got into, and they all combine together, the help and the guidance that people are going to get from being inside that world is second to none, because it's an entire, you're not having to go out and try and search, and you're not walking around your office knocking on somebody's door and saying, hey, could you
Right.
help me with this? Or, what are you willing to share? This is an ecosystem where we're like, I've been on mastermind calls with you already since we got started. We're on all these different, like, amazing, cool tools that we are using. So really the world that person comes into, right? I'm really excited about hosting my weekly meetings and my accountability meetings and my business planning meetings with these people that I bring into the world, and watch their business grow. And yes, do I benefit from that? Absolutely. That's not why I would be doing it. The reason why I'm doing it is because to be able to get into that situation and frictionlessly coach somebody with all these models and all these tools that are in there, that's what I'm most excited about.
That's a great takeaway, because yes, you benefit, I benefit, but that's the whole thing. We all are benefiting. I mean, that whole seventh level thing that really Keller Williams came up with that profit share model. Brilliant. It's just that EXP kind of added elements to it. They added elements to it that make it quite different. And I think that's a great takeaway, because my vested interest in you is not selfish. The better you do, the better we do. And that's, I think, what makes this company so different. So Lincoln, I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to be by your side and locked arms with you as you march up to 500 agents and beyond, because I know you're that guy. I couldn't be more excited to partnership with you. Here's the way I look at it, Lincoln, and I told you this, I'll tell you this publicly on film. The day you say yes, the day you sign up is the day that I go to work for you, period.
And
And that's what's different about this model.
And you have, it's not, okay, here's the most amazing thing. In the past, in many different traditional style, bricks and mortar places, you sign up, you get promises, you get all this stuff, and you're really excited. Doesn't matter who you are, how many years you've been in business, you're really excited. You're like, all right, this is going to be amazing. And then time passes and everything becomes normal again. And you go, well, wait a minute, what happened to where did it all go? Where were all the promises? Where were all, and I'm not saying that everybody's like that. I'm sure there's certain circumstances where you get an unbelievable leader in that company that takes you to the next level.
Yeah.
But in this situation, it really is right into it. Like we got straight into it, and you have gone to work for me. We've already met how many times in the last week and a half?
A bunch.
Yeah. And I've got situation. I'm like, literally, and you're like, hey man, look at it this way and look at it that way. And you've offered me these, it's not like I'm just going to call you 24 hours a day and bug you all the time. That's not what it's all about. It means that, hey, look, we've got a Zoom call meeting on this date. Let's talk. Let's work through all this stuff. Let's build your business. Let's look at it in a different way. Let's coach each other. And it's reciprocal. And I love that. That's a huge thing, because one thing I did learn massively at KW that was hammered into me over and over again by the likes of these amazing leaders is nobody succeeds alone.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
And this business can be an extremely lonely one, especially now when who knows going forward what the models are going to be for people, because offices are closing left, right, and center because nobody's in them paying rent.
Right.
And that's the old model.
That is.
Go to a building, pay rent to somebody, huge desk fees, pay for the building for the person, and that's it. That's what the model is. And unfortunately, fortunately actually for real estate agents, people can move on from that now, and they have more options when these options weren't there. I can get off this call right now and go into eXp world and go visit my office. I can go talk to a transaction coordinator. I can go talk to a broker of record. I can go into the technology department and say, hey man, can you fix this for me?
That's
all
so
from my recording studio. That's the recording studio. And this half is the real estate world.
Is that right? I love how you combine those two. And just on that piece, I think you're absolutely right. We have Compass now countersuing Realogy. That's a whole mess. But what they're suing each other over is the ideology of real estate. And it says in this, I'm looking at the headline now, it says, the complaint says the modernization of the real estate industry poses an existential threat to Realogy. So meaning that traditional model is under attack, and it really is. And agents are starting to realize that the alignment to a big brand office is really not as valuable. And frankly, COVID just sped that up by 2 or 3 years. Or whatever
10 years. Yeah. So
it just sped it up. But
for people that don't know what Realogy is the umbrella that a whole bunch of companies are under.
Oh yeah, Realogy's Coldwell Banker. What have we got? We've got Coldwell Banker, we've got Sotheby's, we've got Century 21, Better Homes and Gardens,
Berkshire
Hathaway. Yeah, it's a massive brand.
Yeah, billions of dollars of brands, but yeah, it's all based on a model of a foundation of bricks and mortar and many, many layers to jump through.
And it gets back to the agents, the relationship. It's not the broker. It used to be. We had to go into the office to get the printout of the MLS, and that was the broker had that ownership of that. Yeah. But times have changed. It's at the click of a button and it's on your iPhone now. But Lincoln, listen, man, you've been amazing. Tell people how can they get a hold of you if they want you for real estate buying and selling needs, or you're the Canadian connection. You're going to be the leader of Canada in the future.
Oh man, you text or call 705-817-2527, 817-2527, and you get a free set of knives. No. Yeah. No, there's no getting two knives here. So anytime, yeah, I mean, any agent wants to call me as well and say, hey, tell me about this model. Like, I will send you what you need to look at. And it isn't a sales pitch. It's an opportunity. It's not a sales pitch to go and join some company because, you know, X or Y, whatever it is. It's literally an opportunity. If people are not opportunistic moving forward in this business, you might not be in business.
Interesting. That's a big takeaway. If you're not opportunistic in this business, you might not be part of this business.
Yes.
That's very interesting. You know, Lincoln, you've been amazing. I appreciate you. I'm super excited about locking arms with you in the future. I know you've got a big thing coming up in 4 or 5 minutes, so I'm going to let you go now, but reach out to Lincoln if you need him. He's up in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. He is a stud. He is a great guy, a fine human being, and I'm proud to know you, my friend.
All right, buddy. You take care.
All right, buddy. You have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Bye for now.